Yeah, what's up otakus, and welcome to a video on this one-shot manga Sayonara Eri or Goodbye Eri. Goodbye Eri follows the story of Yuta, a young boy who captures the last days of his mom with his phone. Yuta does this on the request of his mom, who wants to stay alive even after dying. As requested, Yuta spends several days witnessing his mom's life with a camera. However, he couldn't bring himself to record her final moments, so instead of going inside the hospital with his dad, he runs away from the hospital. Even after Yuta's mother dies, Yuta does not give up. He spends several hours editing all the stuff that he has recorded, but surprisingly adds a bit of fantasy at the movie's ending by showing the exploding hospital as he runs away from the building. Following the humiliation after his movie's failure, Yuta decides to end his life by jumping off the hospital's roof. However, before Yuta could do this, he meets Eri, the only person in the school who liked Yuta's movie. Eri thinks that Yuta's movie was amazing, but it lacks something, so Eri decides to guide Yuta on making a better movie to prove his work to everyone. However, before asking him to write a good plot, she shows him a few good movies to give him the knowledge of making one. After several attempts, Yuta decides to continue the story that started off. He writes a plot where a boy was attempting suicide after everyone hated his movie. However, he finds a girl on the rooftop who's a vampire. This vampire is dying of a mysterious disease, so she asks this boy to shoot the rest of her days with the camera. However, it turns out that Eri was actually dying of a disease and she loved Yuta's mom's idea of being captured on the camera before dying. Eri thinks that Yuta captured his mother beautifully and Eri wanted to experience the same thing. So by filming Eri in her final moments, Yuta finds a perfect ending for his movie. Having filmed to death the thing he couldn't do for his mother, the protagonist regains his will to make movies. The end. Yuta continues his life after Eri's death and becomes a family man, but he never stopped editing Eri's footage. Years later, Yuta loses his wife and daughter in an accident. He couldn't bear the burden of losing anyone else, so he decides to end his life at the same spot where he and Eri watched the movies. Surprisingly, Yuta finds Eri in the same spot, who tells Yuta that she is indeed an actual vampire. The Eri that Yuta knew had died, but she came back to life after 3 days. However, this new person does not remember previous Eri's life. Apparently, the previous Eri had kept her death filmed so that the new Eri could keep watching Yuta. So no matter how many times Eri dies and forgets her previous life, she'll always remember Yuta through the movie. The whole plan would save her from falling into despair. Yuta leaves the room and says goodbye to Eri. At this point, Yuta realizes why he wasn't satisfied with Eri's movie's ending, because he was missing a pinch of fantasy. Finally, we see Yuta getting out of the building just when it explodes in the background. This is how Goodbye Eri plays smartly with your mind. Apparently, Yuta was inclined towards fantasy to deal with his childhood trauma. Yuta's mother was abusive towards him and his father. But even after all that, he showed his mother beautifully in the movie. Yuta ended the movie with a touch of fantasy to deal with his mother's death in his own way. He tried to remember her through the lens which presented her as a good mother. Another thing is that this manga is extremely thought-provoking, as you can make your own speculations about the ending. Maybe the whole vampire thing was just fake, or maybe all the events were fake with everyone just being an actor. You just get several thoughts. So yeah, it's a pretty good manga overall. I'll never forget it. Excellent job by Fujimoto. Also, fun fact, I've never read Chainsaw Man, but after reading this and a bit of Fire Punch, I'm definitely gonna start reading it instead of waiting for the anime adaptation. So overall, Sayonara Eri is perfect for me. It gets a 10 out of 10. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then why not leave a like. Also be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend or two. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, sayonara and matane.